Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be taking a look at the Powkiddy, this very cute little device that honestly I never really did any research on or anything, but the people over at Mech DIY, this very nice online retailer, were kind enough to reach out to me and ask me to take a look at this product that they sell. And honestly, I'm going to use this video more as an opportunity to kind of compare it to my favorite little retro handheld here, the Miyoo Mini, which they also sell on their website. And just to be completely transparent, this video is not sponsored by them at all, but they have provided me with an affiliate link that will be down in the description of this video that you can click on if you want to support the channel and get one of these devices or both for yourself, because they do sell both of these. But anyways, let's get on with the review. One thing that I really love about the Miyoo Mini is just how convenient this device is. When you power it on, it'll always be right where you left off in whatever game you were playing, and that kind of just makes this the ideal little handheld for me to just always keep on me or have access to. It actually didn't boot into a game because I think the last time I turned it off, I was on the home screen. But if we hit the game switcher here, we can see that the last game I was in was Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, and that just boots right up. And if we want to switch to something else, we can just go ahead and look through my games here. And let's say we want to start Super Mario Land, and there we go, we're right in the game. Very nice and easy and simple. You can make save states with the, You can make save states with the press of a button, and load them with the press of a button. There we are. And everything is just nice and smooth and convenient. The games look beautiful on this screen, and they are all displayed in the correct aspect ratio from the get-go, as long as you are running custom firmware, which I am, and I talked about that at length in my Miyoo Mini video. But yeah, here's just a cool Pokemon ROM hack that I've been playing, because I have put all my own ROMs that I want to have on this device instead of just using the ones that it comes with. But as you'll see with the Powkiddy here, I didn't do any sort of modification to this thing at all. It is completely how you would receive it if you bought it and just opened up the box, took it out, and started playing. So that was one thing that some people were confused about in my Miyoo Mini video. I thought I was pretty clear about it, but I did put custom firmware on this and all of my own ROMs. I wasn't just using the SD card that they provided. But for the Powkiddy, that is exactly what I will be doing. So let's take a look at the Powkiddy. Okay, so it was just in sleep mode there, so if it seemed like it turned on really fast, that's because the screen was basically just off, but the console was still on. So the first thing you'll notice is it has some more powerful consoles on here, like Dreamcast, and you'll also see PSP, and I believe Nintendo 64 as well. Let's see, yep, Nintendo 64. We'll get to that stuff in a little bit, but first I want to show you an example. If we go to a Game Boy game, like what we were just playing on the Miyoo Mini, first Kirby game here, got some loading, and you'll see the screen looks nice, but the game is stretched. I'm going to turn on the volume here so it's not interrupting me, but the game is stretched, and if you want to change that, because for me, this really bothers me. This might not bother some people, but if you want to change that, you click both sticks. You have to go to video, go to scaling, and change it if we want it to be like pixel perfect. Go all the way down to 1:1. And then you'll see it looks quite nice. I actually really like the way games look on this screen. But the part that's really annoying is, yeah, I've got my game set up. It looks good. It plays good. Very crisp and clear looking. But then let's say I want to quit. Quit, you press both of these buttons. Okay, oh, I want to play something else. Or let's say I quit, and then I decide, oh, I want to go back to playing Kirby's Dream Land. So let's go back to that. Has to load up again, and then as you'll see, it didn't save where we were in the game, and it also didn't even save the screen settings that I had set. As you can see, it's stretched out again. And I find that really, really annoying, especially since I've been used to playing games on the Miyoo Mini, where literally, even if you have turned the console off, when I turn it back on, as you'll see, it loads exactly to the point where I was at in the game where I turned the console off. And this is even the case if we completely leave a game, and if we go to a game that I have played before on this thing. So just for example, let's go to my PlayStation 1 games. This is a game that I've played before, and as you'll see, I'm accessing it from the menu, not from the game switcher. Loading pretty quick, and here you go. This is where I left off in this game. And I'm playing, everything looks good. The aspect ratio is what I left it as. And the other thing that's really nice about the Miyoo Mini is not only can you pick specific settings on a game-by-game basis, you can actually like go into the settings for the emulator and say like, I want all my PlayStation 1 games to play at this aspect ratio, or I want all of my Game Boy games to play with this filter on, for example. And it'll save that setting so that every game you open up for that system has those settings already active. That is something that is not a feature on the Powkiddy here. Sorry if I keep calling it the Powkiddy. I know it's the Powkiddy. I don't know why my brain keeps changing it to Powkiddy, but it is called the Powkiddy. So setting aside the kind of severe lack of quality of life features on the Powkiddy here, let's talk about the device itself. Now, I was actually kind of impressed with how it feels, and honestly, I just really love this light blue color. It kind of reminds me of a DSi or a DS in terms of color. These thumbsticks feel exactly like the thumbsticks on the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, and the buttons are pretty decent. And the shoulder buttons on the back, honestly, they're a bit more comfortable than the Miyoo Mini Plus here, but overall, I do still, I think, prefer playing games on here, just because, for me at least, the convenience is really the biggest selling point with this thing, and just all of the little quality of life features that I can tinker around with to get the games looking the way I like them to look. So I complained a bit about the aspect ratio of games on this thing and how you have to go into settings and change it if you want it to be pixel perfect all the time. And some of you might be thinking, well, you know, these old consoles like Super Nintendo, NES, that kind of thing, weren't they supposed to be on 4:3 displays anyway? Because this is a 4:3 screen. And yeah, you're right, they were, but on a CRT, which wasn't a pixel perfect display, things were kind of masked. The pixels were kind of masked by the the display, so you couldn't really see the individual pixels. It kind of had a blur to it. So if you'll look, when things are stretched to 4:3 on here, you can see there's kind of an unevenness in the pixels. It's kind of easy to see it on the block's eyes right there. Some of the pixels look bigger and smaller than others. So again, that probably doesn't bother a lot of people, but it was very noticeable to me. And speaking of the messed up aspect ratio on this thing, it's even worse for Game Boy Advance games. So let me show you that. So the thing here with Game Boy Advance games is the Game Boy Advance's screen was actually not 4:3, it was 3:2. So that means it was a bit shorter vertically than a 4:3 screen. And because of that, when the games are stretched to full screen on here, everything ends up looking a bit taller and skinnier than it should. So let's see, let's get into the game here. Again, the quality of the screen is really good. It's very bright, very vibrant. It's just the constant stretching and squashing of everything that really makes me not want to play games on here. And again, I know it's like, if you don't think about these things, it's probably unnoticeable. And maybe that would make this a good purchase for you if you don't care about that stuff, but everything is just the tiniest bit stretched vertically. Mario's just a tiny bit taller than he usually is. Everything else is a bit stretched out to look a bit taller. And I notice it, and I don't like it. So there's that. But anyway, let's take a look at some of the more powerful consoles and see how the Powkiddy handles it. Because You know, it says it offers consoles like the Nintendo DS, but like, how well does it really play them? Oh, that actually sounds pretty good. I don't know how to... Oh, here, we can change the screen by pressing the button on the back here. Like, okay, it sounds okay. Let's just get into a race here before I say anything. Okay, here we go. Here's the... This is more what I was expecting from DS emulation on this thing. The flickering... Let's do full screen? Alright, as you can see, like, from that bomb going off in the foreground, there was some slowdown. The game definitely does not run perfectly. It is kind of impressive that it... you know what? I don't know. It's not really that impressive. It's just kind of weird to see. And also, it's like... Why would you want to play DS games on this thing? Again, you can tell that I'm not sponsored in this video. Because, like, look, I'm being brutally honest. Why would you want to play DS games on this thing? Get any kind of DS and get an R4 card. It would probably cost you less money than this, and you're actually playing the games the way they were intended, and they're running properly, and you'll have, you know, the 2 screens that a DS requires. So, I mean, it's cool that this is a feature, but the games don't run perfectly at all, and you're also playing a dual screen system using only 1 screen, which is really weird. I don't know why you would want to do that. Also, I can't quit the game. Okay, so we tried DS, and it's like, yeah, it could run. It ran, but it didn't, you know, it didn't impress me. And again, it's like, why play DS games on something like this when it's really easy just to play any DS game you want on an actual DS? Let's try Nintendo 64 next and see how that is. All right, let's try Kirby 64. That should be a pretty easy one to emulate, right? It's very simple. My old computer used to handle this game when I was in high school. Let's see what we can do here. Oh dear. Okay. Now don't worry, guys. This could just be a cutscene issue. All right, I'm gonna give someone a seizure, so let's skip this. Hello? Okay, cool. Yeah, hi. Anyway, you can see there's all sorts of artifacting around the screen already. Kirby's got some weird sort of gray aura around him that's not normally there. And okay, the enemies are invisible, so that's not really good. This guy's just a pair of feet. Nope, now he's gone. Not sure what that is. Okay. And, okay, see? This is, I wouldn't really call this playable. I've never seen an emulated game just have the enemies missing like this before. It's very interesting. Alright, let's try another Nintendo 64 game. Alright, let's try my favorite Nintendo 64 game. Here we have Paper Mario. Let's see how this one goes. Again, it is cool seeing this game on such a small device, but I know there's better options out there for Nintendo 64, and I guarantee you this is not going to be looking so good in a few seconds. Oh yeah, listen to that. That's crispy. Oh boy, what was that? Hello? Alright, those menus are not liking the Powkiddy. And Mario's house is just fading from existence. It's like, if this worked properly, this could be an amazing device. I would love to play Nintendo 64 games on this little thing. But, as you can see, anytime the camera is in motion... Well, actually here it doesn't look bad. But almost anytime something is happening in the game, things just freak out. Here, just listen to the sound. Listen to the slowdown. Yeah, it's just like... there's no point in even having Nintendo 64 on this thing. Like, who is gonna sit down and play a game like that? Let's see if Dreamcast is any better, though. Let's see, is there any Sonic on here? You know, it's funny, we saw Sonic in the thumbnail for Dreamcast, but neither of the Sonic adventure games are on here. So, okay, I mean, that wasn't completely terrible, but it's like, realistically, I am not gonna sit down and play Dreamcast games on here with that crackly sound like that. But that did kind of perform better than Nintendo 64 stuff. So for me, the Miyoo Mini Plus is still my reigning champion of these tiny, cheap retro handhelds. For me, it just, I don't know, it just works for me. It's the most convenient. I like the way it feels, I like the way it looks, I like the way the games run on it. The Powkiddy, it technically does run more powerful consoles, but it doesn't run them well enough to really justify buying it for that reason alone. So if you're in the market for one of these cheap consoles, I recommend the Miyoo Mini Plus over the Powkiddy. But if you want just something cheap that you can kind of just throw in your drawer, throw in your car that you don't really care about, you know, you just want to pick up and play some like arcadey style games every now and then, or if you want to give it to like a young person, a kid, a nephew, niece, whatever, for a gift, you know, maybe go with the Powkiddy. But if you want something nice, sleek, and convenient for yourself, I suggest the Miyoo Mini Plus. So if you do want either one of these consoles, check out my affiliate link in the description. It'll help the channel out. And again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.